Hi, everybody. This is Tamara from Moogly, and we are, as always, fingers crossed, live on today is August 29th, 2024. And it's a Thursday, so everything feels a little scrambled anyway. We aren't usually live on Thursdays, but today has been a very special week. As some of you may know, we moved our middle child to college this week. So, for his privacy, I'm not going to go too much into where any of those details or anything. But it has been obviously, like I say, a very busy week. If you've moved a child to college in the last few years, absolute insanity. Very different from back in my day, where they kind of just drop you off at the curve with a few items, your clothes, some laundry money, and good luck. There was parent orientation last week we had to go to. It's just been a whole thing. So that's kind of been filling my head. But every moment that hasn't been filled with that has definitely been filled with crochet, new projects, some very exciting developments coming up on Moogly. And of course, we've got our trip to England in October. So I've started the project for that. Hope to have that done very soon so I can get some things moving in that direction. But let's first talk about what's been going on. So first of all, hi everybody, those who've managed to tune in live, trying to get it up here in front of me so I can see your comments and things. There goes Facebook finally. Finally showed me my own live. So there we are. So hi, Dawn. Hi, everybody else who's tuning in live. Thank you so much for joining us. As you tune in, please do hit that like button and let wherever you know you're watching, let the algorithm know we are live. So, all right, with all that said, let's get to it. What's new on Moogly? What's been happening? And then I'll talk about what's coming up. First things first, I always like to highlight our latest crochet along square, and we have block number 17 courtesy of Jennifer at Fiber Flux. And Jennifer is somebody I've known and worked with in the crochet sphere for ages and ages. And it's just such a joy. Oop, there's one of my hairs. Always got to have a hair on the crochet project, right? Jennifer, I've known for ages. She's absolutely fantastic. Just a lovely crocheter and a lovely person. So this is her square for us this year. It's block number 17. You can see I missed two ends. Sometimes when I have just that last row in the last color, I'll leave those ends and weave them in after I connect the squares together because I feel like there's just not a great space to weave in all that. And I know I'm going to connect my squares with white so I can weave those in later. So sometimes I do leave a couple ends on purpose. It wasn't just being lazy there at the very end. But you can see her square is kind of made of other squares. We connect four different squares together. I did end up having to skip around for size. So if her edge looks a little bit more complicated than mine, it's simply my stitches were bigger. So she had another round to add there. And there are some really, really gorgeous, stunning squares in the Facebook group made using this pattern. So here's what the back looks like. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do. A few of them even just come to mind still right now that I've seen over the past, almost a week now. It is just absolutely lovely. Lovely stuff. Do check out this square. Again, the crochet along is lots of fun. If you don't want to join in the whole crochet along, you see a square you love, go ahead and make that square. Turn it into a pillow, turn it into a blanket of just that square. Pick out the squares you love. You don't have to do anything. It's a fun crochet along. It's very relaxed. So my squares, as always, are made with Red Heart with Love. Our designers are using either Red Heart with Love or Karen 1 pound, whatever suits their color choices. This is block number 17. So I think I have one more after this using the blue peacock colorway. And then I'll be switching to my next color as I work through my scrap GAN for this year. So that is our current block number 17. Block number 18 will be coming up very soon. I've got it all made. It's on the blocking board right now. And I just need to get back to the designer and work out those last details and take some photos. And that will be up here, I believe, next week. These weeks are flying by. So that was block number 17. And then we've got our newest crochet pattern on Moogly, the Tipsy Granny Zipper Crochet Pouch. Here it is right here. And this one was just a lot of fun. This was really born out of my personal desire to experiment with short rows and Red Heart all-in-one granny square yarn and to make another pouch using their new Yarn Zip product. So two fantastic products, both into a relatively very simple pouch here. Now, short rows, you can see it creates this really dynamic fabric. The pouch is all kind of crocheted in one piece here. So you can see it just continues on. The only seaming is these two little bits along the sides and then sewing in the zipper. But sewing in the zipper is so easy. Because of this new product they have, called the yarn zip. Let me hold it up here and get it to focus. There it is. So this is the 9-inch black version, which is what I used for this pouch. And it also comes in 22-inch length. The 22-inch length is a separating zipper. This is one where it's connected at the bottom, you know, like those zippers when you stop at the bottom, like jeans. So this one is like jeans. The longer version is more like a cardigan or a jacket where you can take it off. So this is the version I used for the pouch. And the reason it's a yarn zip and not just, you know, a regular zipper that you might get from Coats and Clark is that along each side of the zipper, there's a little channel where the threads are looser. And that allows you to put your either a crochet hook or even a yarn needle right through it super easily, and sew using the yarn itself. So I did choose to sew this in. For me, I find it's just easier to actually sew it in than a crochet it in, even though I'm much more of a crocheter than a sewer. But this yarn zipper, it just makes it so, so, so easy. And sewing it in afterwards means it doesn't have to be a forethought. You can make your pouch, go out and get your zipper later if you don't have it ahead of time, if you've got the yarn laying around. So this is just, like I say, I'm absolutely in love with this new zipper. Got so many ideas. I had to use it one more time. And yeah, I've been wanting to do something with short rows with this yarn. So let's talk about that for just a second. We know about the zipper. I used, and I don't know if I have, yes, this is the color I used, of Red Heart All-in-One Granny Square right here. And this one, there, now it focuses. There we go. This one is called, I believe, the Black Carnation Code colorway. Carnation Code. Black. So if you're not familiar with the Red Heart All-in-One Granny Square, the first word of the colorway title is always the color that's on the outside. So all the ones that end in black will have black as the first word. The ones that end in Aaron will have Aaron as the first word. The ones that end in white will have white as the first word. I think it's soft white. So those would, like, well, here's an example. We'll hold this one up. You can see this one, and you can see the squares it makes right there. So it ends in white. So the name of this one is Soft White Pink Punch. So that's kind of how the colorways work. So this is the one I used, and I think this was one of the prettiest ones I had available to me when I made the pouch. 2 days after I finished making the pouch, I got a package with a couple of brand new colors of this yarn, and they are so pretty, and I wish I'd had them when I made the pouch. I might have to make more pouches because these are so gorgeous. Let me show you these new ones. This one right here I hadn't had before. It might not be new. It might just be the first time I've gotten my hands on it. But this is called Black Hyper Violet. So you can see the squares are going to end in the black color, but how pretty are those? You can see the squares themselves. Each one on the label is going to show you what that actual colorway makes, which is so handy. And yes, if you're not familiar with this product, you make the whole granny square without having to break the yarn. It's really fun. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I've got a video tutorial for it. And this one is so pretty. I love this one. And then you already saw this one I fell in love with as soon as I saw it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I wish I'd had this one when I meant. I still love the original one, but I just love this one so much. This one is called Soft White Pink Punch. How fun is that? Let's look at those granny squares again that it makes. I just love that one. That one is going to be so perfect for spring, for Easter, for baby showers. This one is just, I'm really in love with that one. And then this one, I think, is the one I probably would have actually used if I'd had it in my hands at the time. Check out that pretty purple right there. That is gorgeous in the skein and in those squares. And this one is called Black/Grape Granary. Or no, Grape Granny. That's what I get for trying to read upside down. Black Grape Granny. There we are. Another really gorgeous one. Isn't that so pretty? Which one do you guys like best? Oh gosh, I just love all of these. So these were the ones that were totally new to me that I hadn't seen before. And then I think this one, I don't think I'd had this one before yet either. This one is really pretty too. This one is a little more bold. This one is called Black Ruby Red. So let's see if I can find, there it is. That's what those squares look like. So the neat thing about this yarn is because it makes granny squares all in one, that's kind of the name, right? Without having to break the yarn, it is essentially a really unique self-striping with really strictly prescribed lengths of your stripes. So it's a really consistent self-striping. So that means it's really fun to take a yarn like this and do something like this with short rows. Short rows are a really simple technique. Here it is pretty much all single crochets worked in the back loop and then occasionally single crochet 2 togethers. So those are really the only stitches you need. But working them in the back loop and then just working part of the way across a row and then working all the way down, It's hard to do this backwards. Kind of like Ginger Rogers right now. So there we are. Oh gosh. This way, ooh, that way is where we decrease, where you see that row go down. On this side, going that way. So it just creates a really neat fabric with really simple stitches. I will have a video tutorial for this. Should be up tomorrow. If tech cooperates, it will be up tomorrow on YouTube, but that will be right and left-handed. So again, if you haven't tried short rows before, this is a really fun project to try them out with. And I think it's just right, right time for back to school. It's a great size for school supplies, for cosmetics. It reminded some people I showed it to, it reminded them of a bag by a designer whose name I unfortunately in the moment can't remember. It began with an M, but some new bag that's out right now apparently has a little bit of this color look to it too. So this is just a lot of fun. Like I say, if you haven't tried short row crochet before, this free pattern is up now, including the zipper right there. You can see really great zipper pouch. Nice closure. It just feels like a really nice solid zipper. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but give it a try. Really great product, really fun yarn, and I think people are gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun seeing all the different colorways and how they work up in this yarn. You could grab really any self-striping, so if you wanted to use something from the Red Heart Super Saver color line, that would be great too. Really anything you'd like. It's just gonna be a really fun fabric, and anything with color changes, I think is gonna look really dynamic in this pattern. So that was really fun to play with. I'd been wanting to use that technique and another way to use that zipper. So I hope you guys will check it out. Let's see. Hi, Sandra and Gerda Van Riel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here with me today. So that's the newest project. Like I say, video tutorial coming up, right and left-handed. The free pattern is up on the blog right now. And then, of course, there is the brand new patterns that I just put up in cooperation with Yarn Inspirations. It's a whole set, and it is our crochet fruit squish set. So the biggest one is our pineapple right here. I showed these to you guys a couple weeks ago, I think last time I was live. So now the patterns are up. We have the pineapple, and we have the lemon and the lime, our little lemon and lime twins here. There we are, super cute. So this is a whole pattern set. You get all 3 of these patterns free right now on mooglyblog.com, and then you can go on to Yarn Inspirations and get all the yarn at a deeply discounted rate, very deeply. Now, those kits will stay up. The yarn kits will stay up until they're gone. These are pretty common colors of Yarn Inspirations, so I'd like to think they'll be up for a while, or Bernat blanket, I should say. I'd like to think they'll be up on Yarn Inspirations for a while, that kit, because they can kind of keep making these, because these are really common colors. But definitely go ahead and get them because it is such a good deal. And these are, like I said, they're really common colors. After you've made your fruit, you can use these for a ton of things. And it is a real bargain they've put up on that yarn kit. Way more yarn than you need to make these. So you'll have, like I said, you'll have plenty of left over to work on your next project. You can make a cute little blanket to match, or even more little, kitchen things for your little ones. Oops. They're hard to hold on to all at once, but they are very, very squishy. You can see right here. I didn't use anything special to fill these. This is just regular fiber fill from your local yarn store, or, well, I should say your local craft store. But we just got our 2 colors right here. We just used a little bit of brown there at the bottom and for the smiles, but just really cute, super squishy, super fun. If you want to make these for a play kitchen without the faces, of course, you just leave the faces off. Super easy. But like I say, it's really fun. You can get the yarn on Yarn Inspirations right now. The free patterns are up on mooglyblog.com right now. Eventually, it will be a free downloadable PDF from Yarn Inspirations. That's the reason I don't have a PDF up for these right now, because it will be free on Yarn Inspirations just as soon as they can get it up over on their end. So for now, it is free on Moogly. So you can go ahead and get started on those and get your yarn right now. So I hope you guys, thank you so much. I'm so glad you like these. These are just so much fun. And they were a lot of fun to make and just super cute. And I love these in particular. I filled these with, regular fiber fill like I did with the pineapple, but I can't help but think of that trend a while ago. Do you guys remember? Maybe some of you do, where people were taking basically party balloons, your regular sort of latex balloons, and filling them with sand. And then you tie off the end of the balloon and you use that as sort of a stress squeeze ball. I cannot help but think that one of those would fit inside of here, maybe covered with another little layer of fiber fill, and make a really, really nice squeezy stress ball. It's just the right size. Just the right size for that. Now, if you do that, of course, it probably would keep it from being washable. Right now it's washable. So something to think about. But I think, yeah, or even if you've got one of those pre-made stress squeezy balls, but it's not very cute and you want to put it inside one of these, I think that would be a really fun way to use this pattern. So you guys know me. I'm always, I think of one thing and then I tell you 50 other ways to use it. Probably drives a few people crazy, but I think that's the fun part of crocheting and creating, right? Is thinking of creative new ways to use the things that are out there. So that is up now, and I hope you guys will check it out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barbara and Tanya and Susan. Thank you guys. Okay, so what else? So if you're looking for that yarn set on Yarn Inspirations and you can't find it, first of all, of course, all the things I'm talking about today are linked on Moogly. But it's called the Moogly Curated Toy Box if you need to search for it on Yarn Inspirations and it's not coming up. Alrighty, so what else? The Blue Whale zipper pouch now has her video tutorial, his, her, whatever you want it to be. Video tutorial is up now, so you can check that out again using another one of those yarn zips. This time it was the 9-inch white one, but super fun. I love the suggestion one person had for using this for little ones' pajamas. Stuff their pajamas in there, for the next night, put it on their bed. Super cute. Love that. So lots of things you could stick in there. Just a fun way to use the zipper and a cute way to make something fun. That, of course, was made with Bernat blanket, as were the pineapple and lemon and lime. All right, so I'm just looking through my list now, making sure I don't miss anything because there's so many things to talk about. We did put up a post, 25 plus Moogly crochet patterns on Yarn Inspirations. So I will be adding the pineapple, lemon, and lime to that just as soon as they get those up over on their site. But right now there's over 25 patterns already there. So you can check those out. And those all have free Yarn Inspirations PDFs. So that is really fun. Then, of course, we've got our giveaways going on. I've been talking about the Moogly Mystery giveaway. That one has just a little bit longer to go. Definitely. The box is getting heavy. I'm squeezing in everything I can. But then we also have our newest yarn giveaway going on. And this is a brand new product from Bernat, from Yarn Inspirations, Bernat Fluffy. And this is really different. This is a very different yarn from Bernat Blanket. I think a lot of people get into the habit of when they think of Red Heart, they think of Super Saver. When they think of Bernat, they think of Blanket. When they think of Karen, maybe it's 1 pound, maybe it's Karen Simply Soft. But of course, Karen makes lots of yarns. Karen Cakes, for instance. Bernat makes lots of yarns. Red Heart makes lots of yarns. And this one is a new one from Bernat called Bernat Fluffy. So it's not a chenille blanket yarn. It has a very different look. And while it's still very soft, it definitely has a different feel. So I'm holding this right up close here so you can get a closer look at that texture. So you can see right away that it's twisted, but it's not a tight twist. It's a little looser, and it definitely has a very fuzzy halo. You can see to it right there. Really nice, soft texture. Now you can see right there, it's 90% polyester and 10% nylon. So this has sort of a woolly look to it. It reminds me quite a bit of roving, but it's not wool. So it's not going to affect those with wool allergies or animal, objections to animal products. And it's 10% nylon. And that part is very exciting to me because nylon is what you add to a yarn when you really want to add strength and durability. And this is the type of yarn where it's not a tight twist and where it's really fuzzy, where normally if I just visually saw a yarn like this, my first thought would be, ooh, that's going to pull apart. That's going to be a little bit more like a roving. That's going to, if I start crocheting with it and pull on it too tight, it's just going to come apart. That is not the case with this yarn. That 10% nylon adds a tremendous amount of strength and resilience to this yarn. I can manage to get a hair on everything. There we go. So let me hold out one strand here so you can see a little bit better the size. Oop. Let's get my fingers under there. There we go. Good morning, Holly. Welcome. There we are. So this is what it looks like when I pull out just the one strand. So you can get a little bit better look at that. Again, it's 10% nylon, 50% polyester. This one is a 5 bulky weight. So it's not as thick as Bernat blanket either. It's going to work up a bit thinner. So thicker than a 4, thinner than a 6. That's 5. Makes sense, right? It looks like washable and dryable, but you wouldn't want to iron it, dry clean it. You'd probably want to wash it on low. Personally, unless it's something big like a blanket, I tend to let most of my crochet items air dry, sort of lay flat and let them air dry anyway. It just prolongs the longevity of them. And when you've taken the time to hand make something, you want it to last as long as possible. But if you want to throw it in the dryer, if you made a big old blanket, you absolutely can. It looks like with this one, probably just keep it on a really low temp. I'm a big fan of the delicate cycle for anything like that. So that is the content, the size, and I've got another color here. Let's hold up this blue, get it to focus. There we are. You can see it's just really, really pretty. Really lovely stuff. It makes some pretty big stitches. It recommends a 8mm crochet hook as well as knitting needles. So really big stitches. That's the same size I do, in fact, use with Bernat blanket, which is a size larger. So you know with the halo, they're looking for you to make some looser stitches with this one, perhaps. You can see I love the look of this checkered blanket on here. This would be so much fun. Can you imagine just pulling out some oversized items and having like a big old checker game or chess game with this on the floor? I think that'd be so much fun. So really, really just gorgeous yarn, this gray. Maybe it's because it's finally starting to cool off a little bit here, at least today. But this cloudy gray just looks really, really appealing right now. I just love that fuzz on it. So this is a brand new yarn, like I said, from Yarn Inspirations. Just want to give you a nice close look at it. You can see it's got a great squish to it. It isn't stretchy. I should point that out. Polyester nylon. This isn't going to have elasticity to it. You can kind of hear that snap, snap, snap right there. It's not going anywhere. It's not stretching within the yarn itself. So it should hold its shape. And while a lot of people say polyester isn't blockable, I think it does help the stitches settle into where it's at. And that's why I think another reason I like the lay flat to dry. You can kind of lay everything out, get the stitches where you want it to be, and let them dry in that position. So this is Bernat Fluffy, and we have a brand new giveaway going for it right now on Yarn's Moogly. And try that again. Brand new giveaway for this Yarn Inspirations yarn happening on mooglyblog.com. So definitely do go check this out. I believe 4 skeins to 1 lucky winner. Yarn Inspirations does currently, they are only allowed to ship to the US and Canada currently, so directly to the consumer. So that is unfortunately where we have to limit our giveaway to. But good luck to everybody. So yeah, and it's fluffy. And if you're trying to Google that or look it up later, one thing I forgot to point out, ooh, get that turned the right way. There we are. It is F-U-L-U-F-F-E-E. So it is spelled a little bit unusually. So if you go to try and, look that up on Amazon or wherever, or ask for it by name at the store, if they spell it with a Y, it won't come up. So that is what you want to look for that. So that is everything that's been happening. That's happened. Then I have something, a little sneak peek for you guys. I'm kind of pulling it up over here. So this is something I've been working on for a little while, and I am super duper excited to give you a little sneak peek. And I don't want to give away too much because I didn't discuss it with the company that I'm working with, or should I say the organization. Basically, if you are familiar with Warm Up America, they are an absolutely wonderful, wonderful charity organization that works with crocheters and knitters to distribute blankets and warm clothing all across our nation and probably even further than that. And they do a lot of different drives, but there's a new one coming up. And I will be working with them over the course of the month of September. We're going to try and send in some items for this winter. Like I say, it's a charity, so I'm going ahead and spoil myself a little bit here. But basically, next Tuesday, because Monday is Labor Day, so we're not doing it on Labor Day, but on Tuesday, I'm going to be launching a series of new patterns that you can make for yourselves to donate locally, but we really want to donate some to Warm Up America. And while I was working on the patterns for this big charity drive, I wanted to do something, unique and unusual, not too difficult, but I started playing around with these yarns, and specifically I was playing around with Red Heart Super Saver Brushed, because with Warm Up America, you want to use an acrylic yarn that is worsted weight, and this yarn fits that bill. Where is their info? There it is. It's a worsted weight acrylic yarn. There it is, 100% acrylic, a 4 medium yarn. But it's, fuzzy and soft and a little bit of an upgrade, I think. So I was playing around with this yarn, and I was playing around with it in 2 colors because, you know me, I love colors. And I came up with a stitch that I think is a little different than anything I've seen before. And I've spoken to a couple of other crocheters, and they haven't been able to nail it down either. It's a little bit of interlocking crochet. It's a little bit of mosaic-ish. It's something, like I said, it's something I haven't quite seen before. So I'm going to give you just a little taste right now. And of course, I will be doing a video tutorial to demonstrate it. But let me find, you're going to see what one of these items are. It's pretty obvious here. Ta-da, it's a scarf. Spoiler alert. But this is this is the stitch pattern. And it's like I say, it's similar to other things, certainly, but it's made by basically weaving the hook through 2 rows of yarn to go down to the 3rd row below. And that sounds complicated. It's really, really not. The stitches themselves are, basic stitches. The biggest stitch is a treble crochet, which is really just another yarn over, if you know. This is what I'm calling the back side, although I think they're both really lovely. And because we're turning in rows, you could pick. The other side is the right side if you want. I'm calling this one the right side right now, though, and this one in the back side. And so this is a really unique stitch pattern I came up with. You can kind of hopefully see how those rows are woven together. You can see it doesn't make it overly thick, but it still makes it really thermal and warm. All those air pockets are going to trap the heat. But it's a little different. So I did some research. I went through all my pattern books, my stitch dictionaries. I have the interlocking crochet book. I went through that one. I went through quite a few. I have quite the collection of stitch dictionaries, honestly, at this point. I couldn't find anything quite like this. Like I say, it definitely borrows from other techniques, obviously, and it uses, crochet stitches, half double crochet and treble primarily, a little bit of double, but no post stitches or anything like that. Although I did, because it's a scarf, I did use some a little bit for the ribbing. But the stitch pattern itself here, like I say, it's a little different. It's not quite interlocking crochet, but it shares some of those things. So I'm really excited by it. I've been playing with it now for a little while. On Tuesday, there will be 3 patterns that come out with this, as well as, I should say, all of the information for Warm Up America and the whole drive and all of it. You're definitely getting a big sneak peek right here. But I am definitely going to keep playing with this stitch pattern. I am just really, really enjoying it. I've already been playing with some more possibilities, sort of upgrading it, because it is something, I think it's something new. So the reason I'm going ahead and basically spoilering myself, instead of keeping it as this nice big surprise, is because I'm desperate to know if this is already a stitch pattern out there. Have I reinvented the wheel, or is this already out there? So it is just a really, really unique stitch pattern. If anybody has any ideas, please do drop them in the comments, and let me know, because I would love to, if there's more like this, I would like to stop reinventing the wheel and go find more of it, because I'm really, really enjoying it. Now, I see we have a couple of questions. The blue yarn, this looks denim. I'm not sure if you meant this one or this one looks denim like. They're both fuzzy, but they are both very pretty. This one I think looks more like denim. This is more of that Red Heart Super Saver brushed specifically. So you can see it's very soft. It does not feel like the Red Heart Super Saver that you primarily would think of. Somebody asked, is it chain spun? Neither of the yarns I have showed you are what I would call chain spun. No, this one the other one is just a regular Red Heart Super Saver but brushed. This one you can kind of see, maybe, I don't think it is. Now you've got me wondering. I don't believe so, but it's so fuzzy. I'm wondering if the structure is just hidden underneath. No. Nope. I was able to pull it apart a little bit. That was a good question, though. You made me really question. I don't think so. I'm pulling apart. Oh, it doesn't want to focus. It's so small. See if I can get that. I don't believe there's any chainette in there. It does seem to be just a really loose spun. But if it is, it's tiny and fuzzy enough I can't quite see it with these eyes anymore. So I guess you'll have to get your hands on some and break out the magnifying glass to tell for sure. So thank you. Oh, Anna, looks like a picket fence. Thank you. I hadn't thought of that. I was really struggling with what to call it. So that may end up being the name. Right now I've just kind of had to come up with the name for one special move to put it through, but it does need a whole name. So I like that. Thank you. That's cool. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. So as you can imagine, what the other patterns might be, I'm going to leave some surprises, but I'm going to show you this because, like I say, if anybody can tell me what this stitch pattern is called or what this technique is called, if you already know, it's not interlocking. I know that. I have that book I went through. It's different. It's a little different. So, but it does share a little bit too. So it'll be fun. I think you guys will like it. like I say, a couple matching patterns to go with, and those will come out on Tuesday. And then we'll definitely do a video tutorial explaining how to do this possibly whole new technique. We'll see. I just have a lot of fun with crochet, and I think I've said this a million times. I think that's one of the most exciting things about crochet is that you can literally come up with a whole new stitch. You just stick the hook in a new place, change your yarn overs, you've got something new. So I'm glad you guys are excited for it too. Thank you so much. So yeah, this is the question. Have I invented something new? Have I not? Have I reinvented something old? Definitely let me know if you have any clues. Again, that's going to be featuring Red Heart Super Saver Brushed. So if you're placing a yarn order this weekend, or you're heading to the yarn store, keep an eye out. Pick up a couple skeins of this. I would say, let's say there's 3 patterns coming out. If you wanted to make all 3, I think you could do it with, if you followed, say, the same color scheme I did. I used 2 colors. Well, let's just say I ended up using 2 skeins of the blue and 1 skein of the white to make all 3 patterns. Should do it. So if you want to go ahead and pick up some yarn and get ready, I would love it if you guys would help me out. Warm Up America is an amazing organization. This is just a little upgrade here on our Red Heart Super Saver for brushed, but if you prefer to use the non-brushed, if you prefer the smooth stuff, that would be wonderful as well. Both are fantastic yarns to use for charity. They're 100% acrylic, washable, dryable. That's what we want. So love it. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. This has been so much fun. I love the idea of picket fence. And yes, Susan, I agree. That's great. Thank you so much, Anna. And this has been a really fun one to share some new products and things with you guys. I hope you'll check out the new pattern. Like I say, on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, we'll have a whole new whack of patterns coming out on Moogly. 3 new patterns, plus all the information about how you can help Warm Up America in September and really make a difference for a lot of people this winter. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I think I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your lunch, rest of your day, and of course, happy Labor Day weekend. Like I say, we should have a brand new video tutorial for you tomorrow, and of course, the Moogly newsletter on Saturday. So be sure to sign up for that. If you haven't already, it's 100% free, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everybody.